the ability to speak using words in very creative ways. A lot of proverbs, a lot of riddles, and then stories woven in with songs to convey the full import of the idea one is trying to convey. Um, so, for instance, when I was growing up and wanted to learn about the importance of maybe hard work, the elders in the evening would talk about, the tortoise who, when everybody went to the farm, to plant and, remove the weed and tend to their crops, he would be sleeping, waking up to rearrange his, the fireplace and, wrap himself again in a cloth and go back to sleep. But come harvest time, he is quite impoverished. And then, of course, we resort to trickery in order to get things from other people. And then also, they will tell you stories of the fact that honesty is always the best policy. And then they would talk about somebody who was poor, but because of their integrity, their honesty, and hard work, eventually got rewarded for what they did. It's similar to some of the stories we read in Aesop's fables. For instance, the woodcutter who, while he was trying to fell some wood or a tree, his axe fell into a stream and he was crying so much. And then the god Mercury came and said, "What are you crying about?" He said, "My axe, which I was using to fell this tree, it broke and the head is falling into the stream." And of course, Mercury jumped in, brought out an axe head that was all gold. And he said to the woodcutter, "Is this your axe?" And he said, "No, mine is not that. Mine is not made of gold." Then he dove in again, brought another axe head, and he said, this one was made of silver." And he said, "Is this yours?" And the woodcutter said, "No, no, no, no. Mine is just, made of, metal. That is, it's not that." And then the god Mercury dove into the stream, brought out, the blackened but well used axe head. He said, "That's mine. That's mine. That's mine." And he was very happy to get back his real axe head. And Mercury said, "Because of your honesty, I'm going to give you both the silver and the gold, axe heads." And that's how he became, wealthy and was able to take care of his needs. Or sometimes I'll be talking with, an elder, and they will say to me, in other words, one has no mouth behind you to explain anything about you. Once you are gone, you are not leaving a mouth behind to defend you. So you have to be clear in your actions so that anybody who looks at your actions, can deduce what your motivations were. And then once in a while, they'll tell you a story of that basically says, "He who laughs last laughs best." Many things which I imbibed just from being in that culture. And of course was this ability to weave rhythms. The first time I started playing any form of percussion instrument, it was just the cowbell. And what they did to me was to be a timekeeper, and it was the kekere, which is, that was always the timekeeping. And it varies. Sometimes it's, oh, so from there, I started to hear the timing, the rhythm patterns that followed that kekere. And then the essence of polyrhythm, which is many people play different rhythms, but they all interlock and form a pattern that is recognizable, but is richer than individual rhythms. So somebody could be playing, and another person comes in to play this. They come in together, and then there's another person playing something completely different, but they all interconnect. And the Kekere actually teaches you that, because people are brought in to play different parts and components of that until the fuller rhythm called Kekere is played. So the person playing the lead beat will be. Then somebody will play a much simpler beat, which is. So he's just playing. Then another person can come in with. So today, when I'm playing, sometimes you can hear me counting with a kind of a hissing sound. I always have to have that kekere playing in my head, whatever rhythm I'm playing. Then there were components where it was just individual solo, where people took an aspect of the rhythm and stretched it out and did a little bit of, showboating, showing what they were capable of. Like somebody would take